Welcome back to another episode. Today we have one of my very good friends on, Jemima Rhys.
Slay! Hi everyone.
So she's coming on the podcast because she has had loads of breakups, loads of boyfriends, and falls in love constantly and out of love constantly. Isn't that right?
I'm just iconic. What can I say?
That is right though, isn't it? You
100%.
Buckle up, bitches. This is gonna get bumpy. This is the breakup diet.
It's got to the point now that every single time she's annoyed about a boy, I'm like, just shut up, because she calls me the next week and she's like, I've met my husband. I'm like, oh, okay.
Here we go again. Yeah, I've my love life has been I don't know how to describe it.
Turbulent?
Yeah. A roller coaster. I've had quite a few boyfriends.
No, but you love love, which is nice.
I love love. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and it's not really got me very far. You know what? I've dated some very interesting people. I've learned a lot about religion.
Fair. I wouldn't take you as someone that's that religious, if I'm being honest.
I'm not. No, I feel like I'm more atheist. I'm Church of England, which I don't know. That's only because Henry VIII wanted to get married 8 times. And I mean, at this rate, I'm going down the same path. So.
You haven't secured the ring yet. But...
No.
No.
But I think one of my exes is engaged. One is engaged. One got married and divorced and is engaged again. So... yeah, I'm still waiting, but it's okay. I'm 26. I have time. I'm in no rush.
You have time. You know how you have like loads of loves and you feel so deeply all the time?
Yeah.
So is it the same every time? Like, are you just excited? How do you not get your hopes like down?
They're always up. I think for me, it's like when I get really hurt, it's like to fill that sadness up, I like hop into the next thing to try and like fill that sad void, because like my therapist told me I'm like afraid of being sad. So when I'm really sad about something, it's like I just go and find, I'm not like a nasty revengeful kind of person, so it's like instead of like doing anything crazy, I'm like, that's okay. And I think to me the best revenge is just moving on and being happy with someone else. But I think by me being in that vulnerable sad state, I hop into the next thing not really thinking about it, and then I ignore all the red flags because I'm almost like, I'm just gonna be happy, I want to be happy and in love, and I just rush very quickly. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and yeah, I see the best in people. I don't see the red flags straight away when it's like I've got these like love goggles on, and then I don't.
Yeah, you do have love goggles on, and then when the breakup happens, you go Mimi mode. Mimi mode is it's the worst mode. I love you, but it's scary.
There's 2 modes. It's like kind of party crazy, self-destruct mode, or I'm just hysterical.
Yeah, we came up with Mimi mode like
when you first met me, you met me in Mimi mode.
Yeah, that's how our friendship blossomed. Was you were going through a breakup.
Yeah. How many breakups do you reckon you've been through now?
I've only been through one serious one myself, but with you, I've been through about 10.
Yeah, it has. If we were to count them all, it's been quite a few.
How many is there?
I mean, I'm not going to
say names.
Yeah, we're not going to say names. Okay, so the school one, the one that was still at school one.
Yeah.
And then there was the older one, and then after him was...
I can bleep names if you like decide
to sit.
Yeah.
There was the older one, and then after the older one there was the other older one, and then after that there was the British, and then another British. So it's about 5. Yeah, I'm not gonna count that.
Okay, fair.
We're not gonna count that one. Oh, but that was a bit of a.
And there was a situationship going on a little bit.
There was a few of those last year.
Yeah, there was a few last year.
But you know what? I've learned some great lessons.
Explain. I've learned some great lessons. Well, tell me one. You
know what? I will say, I think I kind of explored the variety.
The world.
Yeah, I do think I want to just stay with dating a British man now, purely because they don't get like like my favourite crisp packets. They won't understand like Quavers and Skips and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Fair.
Like
So the
Monster
important
Munch.
stuff.
Like no, but I just feel like I want to relate to childhood like British things.
Okay, so you're talking more not crisp, but more like shooting.
Yeah, or like Guy Fawkes night. You know, it's
Okay.
like trying to explain that to someone who's not English. It's quite confusing, and I like doing all these British cultural things. Like
Okay.
seasonal British stuff. Like I love
horse racing.
like
and this.
strawberries, and like, you know, I get really excited for summertime with strawberry picking. And
Okay.
like I like the pumpkin season. Like if you live in another country, they don't understand the hype of it. Like the pumpkin spice latte at
I feel like that's an American thing though.
is
More.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I like it in Starbucks. I get really excited about it. It's like the seasons of like the British seasonal things, like, you know, Ascot or Wimbledon or
Okay.
the shoot.
So
like,
you want a British man.
yeah, just someone who like understands like the British things a bit more, like smaller, like I don't know, the British sweets. It's like I can relate to what's your favorite sweet. Do you know what I mean? I know it's small, but it really means
It means the world to you.
yeah.
Okay, so international men out.
Yeah, they're gone. Sorry, I'm over it.
I don't like the accents either, to be honest. I'm not like and I have an accent, but I
don't
like
think you do.
I like an
Well, I'm
English
just
accent.
used to it. Well, you know what? Another thing is they always take the piss out of me because people say I sound like the Queen. But I mean, depends who I'm around. If I'm like with work people, I'm like, hello, so lovely to meet you. How do you do? And
Yeah,
then
fair,
suddenly,
fair.
if I'm with friends, I'm effing and blinding. My parents get very cross at me because I swear too much, apparently. But
Fair.
filthy mouth, they say.
So with your breakups in general,
Yeah.
do you think, in your opinion, are situationship breakups harder or like a relationship breakup from like a long-term relationship?
Situationships, I think, are way harder purely because it's kind of this, it's this like no man's land of what it could be. And you obviously want it so bad, and one person's in it, one person's not in it. So that when it does end, it's kind of this, what you don't know what the potential could have been if you were together. So you kind of get your hopes up of we could have been amazing. You never even tried. And then when it's a breakup with a normal relationship, the relationship clearly didn't fucking work, right?
Yeah.
And you did try. So you've kind of like look at it as like we weren't happy, it didn't work. You can walk away very easily. When it's a situationship, I definitely think there's like this no man's land of it could have been amazing, but you'll never know.
And you never gave me the chance to make it fully amazing. Yeah.
And you kind of think I think it's also then this, am I not good enough? Or, you know, you don't really understand why the person doesn't want it, and it kind of makes you go a little bit like crazy.
It's the weirdest if you don't understand that, right? And then you see them move on with somebody else and you're like, that in your mind you're like, why would they move on with them but didn't want to start something with me?
Crazy. But that's why I block, remove, mute, unfollow. I don't want to see you're dead to me. I'm amazing, so it's not my fault you don't want to be with me, but I don't need to see your life anymore.
So what would you do then if like they were trying to get in contact with you?
Well, they can't because they're blocked.
No, but like there's a way.
Of course there's a way. I never go back. I've never ever gone back.
Lie. I once remember a time that you did go back.
Which one?
There's more than one actually that's just popped to my head. I got in the back of a car, you picked me up out of school when I was sneaking out of school, and I jumped in the back of your car on a Saturday after lessons.
I think I know the one. That one was my first love, so it doesn't count.
Okay, fair. I agree with
and
that statement.
I will say, biggest mistake, but I went back, and sometimes I do think you need to go back once or twice to just really have your final...
3 times.
Did I go back 3 times?
Really?
No, I was going to say, but I do think when your first love and your first serious something, you do go back just to kind of see, you really want it to work, and you have this such like...
Yeah, also I feel like this is what I've found so far.
Yeah.
Because I've had situationship breakups. I find them really hard, right? But then I think what trumps that, the only thing that trumps a situationship breakup is a first love breakup, because that was really hard.
Yeah, the first love took me a long time. I mean, that one was quite savage, I will say, that one.
Yeah.
He ran off my best friend, so.
Yeah, that was savage.
They're engaged, so you know what? Happy for them.
Yeah. Fuck you, but happy for
Yeah,
you.
although 3 of my exes are engaged. Fucking hell.
Maybe you're like
that movie, you know, the Good Luck Chuck or something. Is that the movie? And then
Yes,
they have sex with him, and then they find their love of their life afterwards. Oh my
maybe
God.
that's you.
Fucking hell, let's hope not. But Blessing in Disguise, it didn't work, because I would never, looking back at all of them now, I probably would never go back.
So when do your love goggles kind of come off? Do they only come off once it's like a few months after the breakup, or do you kind of see it straight away and you're like, oh, or do you see it but ignore it when you're starting?
Definitely once I'm out of the love, like it's like a month after the breakup, you suddenly see like how wrong you guys were for each other, and you suddenly look at situations very differently in your head.
You know what I also find interesting is a lot of the time you don't realize how bad things are until you tell your friends.
Oh yeah, I'm completely. And when your friends, their reactions, and then you get really sad because you're like, oh, is it that bad? And then, you know, like they're honest and brutal with you. Well, my friends are anyway, because I think I'm like so naive, and I'm like, no, it's fine. They're amazing, and they're like, this is not okay, this behavior, and I'm like, oh. So I think I need to be told. Yeah, I've got myself in some situation.
Does that make you not want to tell your friends stuff sometimes?
Sometimes, but it's more like I can't not tell people things. I'm too honest, and I have to tell people everything. And I normally say I'm not telling you because I know your answer. And then they're like, well, what
that
are you
says
doing?
enough, yeah.
That says enough. What are you doing? And then I'm like, yeah, they're all. But it's annoying because they're always right. I don't. At the time, you don't want them to be right, but they are always right.
Are you talking about me right now?
Not just you. I've got a few friends, but I need it because I do think I'm a little bit naive, and I see the best in people. I don't necessarily see like the negatives, and I always find excuses for that person not realizing the behavior. And actually, if you can't, like, would I treat someone like that? No.
Would you say I'm quite brutal? Would you say
you're pretty
give
brutal?
Good advice? Or
you give good advice, but you're very honest and straight to the point. There's no cutting it. And I remember one time, do you remember I was in the car once, and me and you I was in the car as I had like an hour's drive, and I think I got lost, and I was in the car for nearly 4 hours on the phone to you because I was crying, and I was not paying attention on the sat nav, and I just kept going around in circles. Like, God knows where I was. And you were like, you'd heard enough about this situation, and I think you just were like, you're not happy, you need to just walk away now because you're just wasting your time, and I don't want to keep hearing and having to repeat myself and say the same thing because you're not happy and we keep having the same conversation.
I think this was like after like it was months of like crying about
months.
Several small things, but it makes it...
Oh, but no, and I remember I needed to hear it. At the time I was like, I hate you, but I needed to hear it, and I look back at it and I was like, I'm so grateful that you had that conversation with me because I didn't see it, and I was so like, everyone was very sweet and like being comforting, but you need someone to just kind of, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just shake you. And then I look at it and I remember, it's funny, I remember it so clearly, and you were right, every single word you said. And it made me, it's not what you want to hear at the time, of course not, but you do need someone to kind of shake you.
Yeah, I think that hits a point where you're like, you have to just be like brutal as a friend.
100%.
Because otherwise I think you have to be, it's hard because you have to be really understanding, and also somebody has to want to do something too.
Yeah.
And if they're not ready, it doesn't matter what you say.
Completely. And yeah, and then obviously there are times where you don't want to tell people because you know their response and you know their answer, and obviously you're praying and you're hoping and you're wishing that it's going to get better and he's going to be the one, and it's like this fear of being alone or single. Right? But then when actually my therapist always says to me, but when you are alone, you're fine and you're actually happier because you don't have this weight on your shoulders. And I'm like, yeah, you're not wrong. So
I think it's hard when you're with somebody and the relationship is not what you necessarily want or need at the time, and then it's like you're not feeling met in it. You know what I mean? But you're with them, but you feel even more lonely because it's not what you like are thinking. So you're in a relationship, but you're more lonely than what you would be if you were single.
Yeah, it's true. It's really true because you just don't feel like the person knows you, or you can't open up to them, and I don't know, it just ends up being, you feel like alone, even though, I fully agree. So I'm not really making much sense, but I fully agree. And I've definitely been there. Well, you feel like trapped and alone, and you're like, but I'm with someone. And it's the minute you are alone, it's actually all fine. And you're. Yeah,
it's hard to do though, because it's like that comfort of having someone, even if they're not really there.
Yeah, no, completely. It's one of the most, it's never easy. It's never, breakups suck, actually. I mean.
Yeah, they suck.
there's nothing
good
worse.
comes from them, I think. Like the whole shift of like, it does throw your whole nervous system out. It does like kick you up the arse a bit. It does like realign your life a bit, I think, sometimes. But
Yeah.
the actual process of it and like getting to it is so brutal.
It's brutal, especially when you know. The worst is when you know it's not right, but you don't know how to do it. And I do feel for the people. Thank gosh, like God, I've never been like been married or had kids, and so I can't imagine how that must be. That must be like another level, which is why I'm glad I'm doing it all now. All my breakups are now.
Or if you're on a mortgage with somebody.
Oh yeah,
if
you buy a house.
Like you buy a house, but you're both paying it. And then you're not just walking away. You're not just walking away from the relationship and like your whole like life as you know it. You're also walking away from like money that like
you put into a house.
Yeah,
I feel for people, which is why I'm kind of grateful. Like, I mean, my breakups have been really bad, but they've never been. It could be worse. I always say hope the best, think the worst, but hope the best. And obviously, the situation can always be worse.
Do you think?
Yeah.
The longest period that you've been sad after a breakup, right, was your first ever breakup? Or
100%.
Yeah,
that was like a year or 2 years of sadness. But you know, I think that one was way harder. Not only the breakup sucked, it was a lot of people that I was very good friends with and had grown up with my whole life. I introduced him, and that's why I'm very careful on introducing like partners to friendships. I know that like my friendship group now would never. They are like the most amazing. My friendship group now, I'm like grateful and very, very like blessed to have them in my life. But I know I'm always a bit nervous because in the past I've introduced like my guy group at school with my ex, and they basically chose him over me and cut me out, which was like hard, especially when I grew up with a couple of them since I was
young.
So most of them were like when I grew up with them since I was 9 years old, and some of them I knew from nursery school, so that really hurt. And then also my best friend obviously hooking up with him behind my back and people knowing and never telling me. So that, I think it's the betrayal of that hurting more. So it's like a double whammy.
Yeah, and you don't just lose the person that you're like intimate with and close to and feel all these emotions for the first time. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's your first love. But then you also lose like all your friends and then also your best friends.
It was, so I was obviously excluded from the friendship, the betrayal, people knowing, not telling me.
Also, you would have told, like, I don't know what your relationship was like before the actual breakup, like, but did you feel any distance before? That's my first question.
Oh yeah, we were on and off, and there was, I mean, he was an interesting person, you could say.
Okay, fair.
And there was a lot of insecurity there. And
did you like, not that it was necessarily her, but like, did you have any feeling in general that he was being a bit like naughty?
No, I didn't really. You know what? It's funny. I would just never believe someone could do that.
Yeah,
especially when they're all like, she was my best friend of years and years. You just don't think people would behave like that or do that.
Yeah.
I have such trust in people, and until they prove me wrong, which is why I think I go in with open arms, and if you break that trust, I can kind of get, depending on how bad it is, I can get past it once. But like, if you keep doing little things to break that trust, I'm like, I actually cannot be, you can't, and I'm quite cutthroat. Like, once I'm done with you, you're fucking done.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with you. You're cut out of my life.
I'm the same, to be fair. Once I'm done, I'm really done though.
Yeah.
But I take a bit to be done.
It takes me a minute, and once I'm there, I'm like,
yeah,
you've had enough chances, you're out.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it must be really hard with the friendship element, because you just would not think that. You would not think that, like, I have full faith that, like, in my good friends now, that if any of you, if I was in a full-on relationship, it's a little, which also is like annoying, but it's a little bit blurry if like there's a hot guy on a night out, everyone's single, and it's like you say you fancy him, nothing's happened, okay.
Slightly different on that, like, or if like you've kissed someone years ago and you hook up, it's like there's I think there's like, you know, it depends on the level. It's fine, things happen, we're young, whatever, but definitely I feel if it's someone you were with for 6 months, you've said the love word, the L word, the big L word, and then that your friend is fucking him or doing something like that, no.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The only good thing from that, which sorry to say,
Yeah.
is that they're like engaged and stuff too. So at least like,
At least
I'm
it
like,
was
at
worth
least I'm like,
it.
it's worth it.
Do you know what I mean?
You know,
it was worth it. It was worth ruining all the friendships. Fair enough. But yeah, it took me a long time to like heal from that. That one hurt. That one, I think it was the betrayal from so many people. And then I ended up in hospital, which and how little people showed interest or care at the time was even more like
eye-opening. Yeah.
Wow, after how many years of friendship and how little people seem to have cared. That hurt, but you know,
people are selfish, and also like, yeah, they're so caught up. That is why you shouldn't care what people think, really.
Yeah.
Because they might talk about you for a second. They might, you know, be there at 1 second, but then I feel like most people care about themselves so much more.
Completely. But it's weird because I gained amazing friends from that experience. And that's how, for example, even me and Beatrice became best friends, was purely because that week there was all this drama about me at school. And when there's drama, it's like everyone's involved, everyone's whispering at school in the dining hall, everyone's staring at you. And then a week later, I think something had happened with her, and we weren't that close at the time, and I sent her a text message saying, thanks for taking the heat off me. Hope you're okay. If you want to go to town and get some food, because we're both still hated in the dining hall, and we're both too scared to go to the dining hall. Mm-hmm. If you want to hang out with me. And that's actually how our friendship started. She was like, I love how it bonded us, both being hated at school at the time.
Breakups make good
Great
girlfriends.
Yeah, they do. You really bond with people.
Yeah, you do.
You really
brings you together.
I mean, you met me in like a dark time, and we had so much fun in London. Do you remember?
Yeah.
We were just animals.
Yeah, we did have so much fun. I was still in school too, so like I was going back to school at like 4 a.m. on a Monday morning, getting a train back to Somerset and going into school from the night out, because Sundays were a thing.
Yeah, Sundays were a thing. Oh my gosh, we had so much fun.
Yeah, we did.
Fucking animals.
Okay, I want to ask you, because this is gonna be coming out near Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Do you have a bad Valentine's Day story?
I don't have a bad one necessarily. I have a fucking hilarious Valentine's Day story. So I feel like my life is a blur because there's just so much going on 24/7, and I'm just really iconic and hilarious. Basically, I can't remember. I think I had just broken up with a situationship. Mm-hmm. Oh God, he was a fucking loser.
Side note.
It's when I was in my little bit of a chubby stage, we could say, and I just remember that because my boobs were huge, and I remember it was like, obviously it was February because that's when Valentine's Day is. I just broken up with some situationship, and I was hanging out with this guy called Max, who, oh my God, he's nuts and he's hilarious. And me and him, I think he just got dumped, or he'd gone through a breakup, or something had happened, and he was really upset and really broken about it. And I just ended with my situationship. I was recently like kind of single. I think I was talking or in the early stages of texting someone, so like very early days, but I was pretty much single. And Max had basically prepaid for this dinner. Do you know where
I know this story.
I know.
Okay, I was like trying to work out what was going on.
Yeah, so do you know where Sexy Fish is? And then you kind of, that restaurant, so you kind of go down that road, and it's like there's a restaurant on that corner. So okay, Sexy Fish is here. So where Amazonica is, around that corner, you turn right. Mm-hmm. There was a restaurant there. It's a sushi kind of restaurant. I can't remember the name of it. He prepaid a dinner there, and so he couldn't get out of it. It was Valentine's Day, which is obviously a big thing for a prepaid dinner there. And he basically was like, I don't know how I have anyone to go with. Do you want to come with me? And I was like, yeah, free dinner.
I'm there, sign me up.
So I thought, and then I came up with this brilliant idea to get fake engaged and like try and get like a free bottle of champagne or a free cake or something. I was like, oh, well, at the time I was at uni, and I was like, I'm not going to say I was broke, because I've never really been broke, but I wasn't able to afford like a £200 bottle of champagne at the time. And I was like, I want to bring something to the table. So I was like, right, let's get fake engaged. And Max is super fun. And he's like, what a great idea. I was like, yeah. And
what ring did you use?
So I went to Claire's Accessories. And
oh, this is like not at the table you thought of it. You thought of it before.
Oh, 100%. So we fully planned this.
Oh, there's a production.
It was like a full theatre production at this restaurant. So I go to Claire's Accessories, And I choose this ring, and me and him I remember it was like on my lunch break at work, and this is when I was working agent provocateur. So I snuck out and I told all my work colleagues about this brilliant idea, and they thought it was hilarious. So I went out, went to Claire's Accessories, found this really horrendous, like massive diamond ring, which was like 4 sizes too big for my finger, but there was nothing else that looked semi-decent in Claire's Accessories. I think it was like a tenner.
Yeah.
And I remember taking it to the restaurant, and we met there, and I put on like a really tight bandeau dress, which it was like, I think House of CB, like I just remember I looked like a 40-year-old woman, because it was very tight and long, and I just wanted to look a bit older, because I was like, I don't want to look 19 in this restaurant getting engaged, and like make it look a bit more professional. Max is not that tall compared to me, and I remember wearing the most outrageous high heels, so I was towering over him.
And that's the thing, that normally short men like tall women a lot of the time, it's like a supermodel.
Yeah, well, a lot of the VS models have like shorter boyfriends. It doesn't matter when you're lying down, do you know what I mean? So I remember walking in, and we both met, and we were both giggling, like finding this hilarious. So I gave him the ring, and we had dinner, and we were both quite nervous. We were like, oh my God, we're going to do like a big performance in the restaurant. And so he went and told all the waiters, and obviously he's like whispering, telling me the plan. And it's so funny, because obviously they're all like kind of being a bit shady.
Yeah, they're like, when are we doing like
when are we doing the thing? They don't think I have a clue. So they're all being really friendly, like, can I get you another drink? Like being really nice to us. And I just remember like, they have no idea that I fucking know.
And then what happened? How do you do it?
So he basically put the ring in, I think he told the staff to put the ring in the cake. Okay. Or he put it in the cake when I went to the bathroom. Yeah, and... I
would hate that if I was actually getting engaged and my ring was like in the cake.
I think he did, and it's so funny because they came out with sparklers and a cake that said, "Will you marry me?" With one of those like spray like sparkler things. And he got up on the chair and he went, I want to make an announcement. This woman is the love of my life. And I'm trying to pretend like I have no idea. And I'm like, oh my God, no way. And obviously I'm wetting myself. I have like tears coming down my eye because I'm finding this so funny.
Yeah.
And anyway, he gets down on one knee. He's like does this little speech like, she is the love of my life. I've never met anyone better than her. And I'm like really trying to be like, do not laugh right now, because it's meant to be emotional. He puts the ring on my finger, and then we both realised we have to kiss now, because obviously it looks a bit weird if we don't kiss. Yeah. And I'm quite like, oh, this is a bit awkward, like he's my friend, and I was like, and so I remember him like kind of looking at me like, I think we're gonna have to kiss, and I was like, I actually didn't think about this. So we both were trying to kiss, and it was like really unromantic and really awkward, and we were both like kind of pissing ourselves laughing. So I remember just kind of kissing him like.
That's so funny. I didn't even think about that. That would have been weird. Yeah, imagine. It was love so of my weird. Life, and then you're like,
we're like kissing, kind buddy. Of like, we're like, and then obviously everyone's cheering and clapping and coming over, congratulating us. And the ring, I remember they're like, let's see the ring, and it was like this plastic thing that kept swinging down because it was so big.
Oh no!
And I honestly, so. Yeah, I mean, it was very funny. And actually, I think that was probably the most funniest Valentine's Day I've ever had. But I just remember they didn't even give us a free glass of champagne, and the bill came in.
They didn't even give you a free glass of champagne? I would have thought they would have given like one thing.
No, I think we got a bottle. They asked if we wanted one, thinking like, yeah. And then they just slammed it on the bill, and I was like, great. So the one thing I thought I could bring was free bottle of champagne, but didn't even bring that. And everyone got their phones out, and I was like, that will go viral. No, so it's okay, but it was
good
funny.
Story to tell anyway.
But then my mum shouted to me and was like, "It's really bad luck," and I was kind of thinking about it. Yeah, it is probably quite bad luck, and maybe
that's why your boyfriends are all getting engaged and you're not.
Do you know what I mean? Have I fucked it for myself?
Nah.
Marry
I mean,
myself.
I feel like you're super young, so like you do stuff like that anyway.
Yeah, it was funny though. I'm not going to recommend it purely because you didn't get anything fucking free. So
last Valentine's, was it good, bad, whatever?
They've all just been really boring. It's like a money pit of just buying crap.
Yeah.
If I always say it, if I receive something, I'm super grateful, super happy. If I don't, it's life. Like, whatever, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Don't get your hopes up, sort of thing. Hope the best, expect the worst. So expect fuck all. And if you get something, then act surprised.
Yeah. like you did at the engagement.
Yeah.
That level.
Yeah.
Theatre performance.
Theatre performance. I did do drama for GCSE.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the Breakup Diet.
Of course.
And I'm going to have you back on soon.
Of course. I'm really iconic, I'm really famous. If you don't know who I am, I've got like...
I'm going to cut this because you're going to get cringed at yourself.
No, I'm not, because I'm really famous. Everyone knows who I am. I'm her most famous guest on yet.
Woohoo! Thanks, guys.